Hey everybody, welcome to Milwaukee Music Lessons. My name is Alex Bennett. In this video, we're going to cover one of my favorite exercises to give to students, and that is the caterpillar exercise. It's a very versatile exercise. It covers a lot of ground and what you can do with it, how you can modify it, and it's great whether you're a beginner or an expert. So we're going to go over the details of it. I'll go over some demonstrations, and yeah, let's just get right into it. So to begin with this exercise, we're going to start on the 5th fret with our pointer finger. You don't have to start on the 5th fret, you can go to other locations, but for my purposes, I always like to start kind of somewhere in the middle of the neck. And we're going to start with our pointer finger right here on the low E string, fret 5. Now from here, we're going to try and move up one fret at a time, and every single time we move up a fret, we're also going to advance to the next finger on our hand. So if we start with our pointer finger on fret 5, that means that next we're going to go to the middle finger on fret 6. After that, we're going to move over to the ring finger on fret 7. And then finally, we're going to go to the pinky on fret 8. So far we've got those 4 notes, 5, 6, 7, 8, right up the guitar neck. Now that we've kind of run out of fingers, the next jump for us is to move over one string. So that means now we'll be on the A string, again starting on fret 5 with our pointer finger, move up to the middle finger on fret 6, ring finger on fret 7, and pinky on fret 8. And we're sort of going to just kind of rinse and repeat this idea, moving up the strings until eventually we get to the high E string. Now that we've reached the end, or the top of the guitar for this exercise, now we're going to make our way backwards. So this time we're going to go with the pinky first, starting on fret 8. And we're going to walk our way back down the exact same way that we came up. We're just going to do everything in reverse. So we start with 8 on pinky, ring finger on 7, middle finger on 6, and pointer finger on 5. And again, we're going to rinse and repeat all the way back to the low E string. So now let's do a complete demonstration of the exercise from beginning to end. And there you have it, the caterpillar exercise. So going to a variation of this exercise, if you're struggling with a particular skill, maybe you're having a real hard time finding the right strings, one of the ways that you could modify this exercise would be to practice string skipping. So if we start from the beginning, where we started before, on the low E string, and we go up 5, 6, 7, 8. But now this time, instead of going to the A string, we're actually going to skip that string and move to the D string starting at fret 5. And now that we've reached the end of the D string, instead of continuing to go up, we're actually going to jump back to the string that we just missed. So we've reached the end, we've gone back to the A string, now we're going to proceed up another 2 strings, skipping over the D and running right over to the G string. So basically we're going 2 strings forward, 1 string back, 2 strings forward, 1 string back. And you're going to repeat that until you reach the top of the high E string, at which point then, just like we did with the original caterpillar exercise, now we're going to go in reverse. So we'd start at the top of the high E string with our pinky on fret 8, work our way back to fret 5, and then we would skip past the B string, down 2 this time, to the G, back up 1 to B, down 2 to D, up 1 to G, over and over until finally we reach the bottom of the E string. So let me give you a complete demonstration of what that might look like. Let me give you one more idea, one more demonstration here. Let's say that you're working on a particular technique. So I think a great technique that fits with this exercise is finger rolling. With finger rolling, what you're attempting to do is you're trying to move back and forth from one string to the other by rolling back your knuckle, flattening out your knuckle, so that way instead of having to lift your finger to move back and forth from one string to the other, instead you're able to seamlessly roll your finger back to the next string and have a nice, even, clean transition. Less margin for error, less actions being taken. It's a good technique that I think any player should be able to achieve, especially when you reach kind of the end of that beginner phase, the early intermediate phase. So let's say we're trying to work on that technique and get that down. Well, what we can do is we can take our caterpillar exercise. We start on fret 5 here, and we roll from the low E to the A string on fret 5. And then maybe this time we decide that we're going to pre-roll. So we're going to go from fret 6 on the A string to fret 5 on the low E. And we're going to rinse and repeat. So we'll roll, pre-roll, roll, pre-roll, roll, pre-roll. And again, just continuing like that until we reach the end of the high E string and then working our way backwards. So here's another demonstration. So there you have it, a few different ideas of how you could modify the caterpillar exercise. There's probably 100 different ways that you could modify this exercise depending on what your goals are, what techniques you're trying to learn. I know that I've definitely come up with well over a dozen ways that you could, modify this exercise to different students for different needs and different purposes. And that's one of the reasons that I love it so much. That's one of the reasons that I come back to it constantly. So, like I said, whether you're a beginner or advanced, this is a great exercise. Don't worry about playing it fast. Play it slow, right? Then you can work on the tempo. Then you can work on the speed. Just be accurate first, and then, proceed on from there. Better to play it right slow than to play it wrong fast. So, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that you guys are enjoying Warm-Up Month here in May. We got plenty more videos coming out for that, so keep your eyes out. My name is Alex Bennett, and I will see you guys in the next video.